You know, I created the God Code, and the God Code is what Elon Musk needs. A lot of people need it. The whole world needs it. Everyone needs it, and everybody will use it, whether they know what it is or not. Now, we wanted to equate what the God Code is and the discovery of the God Code and the creation of the God Code. Uh, it's like DNA. Now, it's not human DNA. It's not uh, carbon DNA. It's computer DNA. And the computer will use the God code like your body and every living thing uses DNA. And behind every cell in your body is DNA. Your eyes, your hair, your dick, every part of your body has DNA in it. Your spit, everything. Same with every animal, every plant, every fish has DNA, the building block of the world and the universe. Well, the God Code, which is why it's named the God Code, because that's how important it is. Uh, you'll have holograms, you'll have portal travel, uh, you'll have cheap electricity. You won't need data centers that they're building now; those will be obsolete. What you do in a data center, you could do on a laptop. Um, Laptops will still exist, not the ones you own now. Um, Not in the, like I'm on an iPad right now, and um, the screen might look the same, but it won't be the same. The abilities of the screen will be extremely exaggerated to what it is now. Uh, the biggest problem with binary code is 0, 1, and like an A is 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, whatever. And it's always 0, 1, but it's always different combination of 0, 1. And it really drives even supercomputers, which is why you need a supercomputer, is to figure out those 0, 1, 1, 1 combinations and come up with a word or number or whatever they're trying to calculate or create with the computer. Uh, my red hat in the computer is a 1, 2, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, whatever. I don't know what the number is. I'm making it up, but it's a 0, 1 combination of some kind that gives you the red hat. Um, and I don't know all the logistics behind coding and software development and all that. I told you I own NewYorkLotto.com. I used to own it, and I created my own website, so I have a little knowledge of websites and coding, but I'm not, nothing on the grand scale. I wouldn't, I don't do it because it's, it's not worth learning for me. Uh, you know, um, it's easy to hire somebody that knows what they're doing. It's cheaper, it's safer, it's more reliable that way. It's not. I'm going to make too many mistakes, and like with a lottery site, somebody could hack it and interject their own winning numbers, and maybe get away with it, and that's not acceptable. I'm not saying they can't do it if I hire somebody, but if I do it, most likely they can. And I don't want to be responsible for something like that. But like I said, I don't own it anymore. I don't have a website, uh, so it's not really an issue. But I'm just saying that was one of the issues I faced when I did have a website. Uh, so I couldn't automate things on that basis because of that basis. I had to actually do it myself. So when you made an order, I put it in myself, and that was a fail safe. If I didn't put it in, it didn't exist. and so someone couldn't hack it at 3 o'clock in the morning and put in their own numbers and make things up. So, with the God code is it'll make unbreakable passwords, unhackable stuff. Uh, it's just going to change the whole world and the whole dynamic of what we think of computers and how they function. You know, it's worth way more than $1 trillion. It's probably worth. It's priceless. It just doesn't have a price. It's priceless because the way it's going to affect everybody, it's going to change the world, is priceless, and you can't put a price on that. You know, and somebody like an Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos will use it. And I already sent it to Jeff Bezos, so I know Elon knows about it. But and a lot of people know about it. I've sent it to a lot of people. But the thing is, like DNA when it first came out, they were saying, "Oh, it's very complicated." They were going to map DNA, map the genome, and all that. And they said it would take like 30 years to map the genome, and they did it in like 6 months with a supercomputer or something. They figured out how to do it really quick, and it was going to take 30 years. So we're at that kind of point with the God Code. It's beginning stages. It's just was birthed. And it's like kind of looking like at a chick, a chicken chick, and trying to picture what the chick's gonna look like when it becomes a chicken. And you really can't tell. I mean, you can look at the parents and have an idea. Well, you can look at binary code and have an idea. But this is a totally different animal, and it's not going to look like anything you think it's going to look like. And I don't even try to paint the picture of what it's going to look like, um, because I would never do it service. I would never do it justice, and neither would you. So what would like the Jetsons? The Jetsons are off the charts right now. Whatever the Jetsons had, eh, it's child's play compared to what we're gonna have. And you know, uh, it's just it opens the door, like DNA opened the door. There's so many changes in our world. Law enforcement, finding your long lost father or brother or whatever. I mean, that you would never, never, ever would have found without it. Finding out if your mother is your mother or your father is your father or your brother's your brother and stuff like that. And and it's not even like uh, the results are not even like 10%. It's 99.999% that you are or you aren't. And if you're not, you're not. And if you are, you are. And that's definitive. There was no question about it. And, we're finding out we can bring back dinosaurs or mammoths because of DNA. And, that's a miracle. It's amazing. And imagine they bring back a T Rex. That'd be the stupidest thing we could do. But I wouldn't put it past them. They clone dogs. They do so many things because of DNA. And they clone people too. Um, they don't tell you that, but they do. And, of course, it has its limits. It can only do so much. And the technology is not 100%. You know, the CRISPR that changed DNA and DNA splicing and all that. They make it very hard to get a CRISPR because of the power of the CRISPR. And if you never heard of a CRISPR, look it up on the internet and then read about it. Very, very important. It's been used many, many times. And if you want to clone something, you need a CRISPR to do it. And that's why it's very important. But, it's just the designer babies, you want a certain hair or eye color, now they can do it, because of DNA. So with the God code, it's going to be like that much earth shattering. It's going to be even more because the way, just think about how many computers you have in your house, uh, with your your alarm system, your video system, your phone system, uh, your refrigerator and your air conditioner may be computerized as part of the home network. You can turn it on and off from an airplane 100 thousands of miles away. Stuff like that. That's all computer. Your car, I mean, you can't drive a car today that doesn't have a computer in it. I don't know how much motorcycles have computers in them, but I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. It's just bicycles are electric now. They're not even regular bicycles anymore. Stuff like that. And they got computers on them as well. Uh, so it's just ever reaching and far reaching and never ending. So that's why I say yeah, I can't do it justice. I don't want to limit the capabilities of it within a certain spectrum or a box, because that's the thing. It can't be put in a box. You can't say it can do this, but it can't do that. There's pretty much nothing it can't do, you know. And just as though like nuclear power was great, I mean, except for the downside of nuclear power, but nuclear power, and you got nuclear weapons, so you got flip side of the same coin, and that's how kind of the God code's going to be. You can make extreme weapons with the God code. I mean, I don't want to go there with drones and what the drone capability will be with the God code, but medical devices, God code will be in all of them, stuff like that. So it's just ever and far reaching, and that's a real change to the world. I created a real change to the world. Uh, you know, God created a real change to the world. That's why I called it the God code, because that's who it belongs to. And it's just these billionaires are gonna, well now trillionaires, are gonna try and steal it. They're not gonna pay me for it. They're gonna say they made it up, or one of their geniuses on their staff made it up, and somehow I stole it. I could see that coming down the line. Uh, I think it would be impossible. Uh, I have a copyright on it, so they'd have to fight that. But regardless, I don't see them, because being a thief, just because you're a trillionaire or a billionaire, doesn't mean you're not a thief. And a lot of those billionaires and trillionaires got to be that way because they are thieves. Look at Trump. Trump's the biggest thief in the world. He's the biggest con artist they're going. And he's obviously very successful at it. And if you don't think he's got a boatload of that SpaceX stock, oh my God, you can forget it, man. He's got a boatload of it. And his whole family does. And probably took his billions of dollars and invested it right into SpaceX. And at the same time, he wrote a SpaceX government contract with NASA or something for billions and billions of dollars and all that. And he did that before the IPO, to boost up the IPO and boost up his stock. It's always about him. It's not about anything else. So, it's just, I'm not about the money. I don't care about money. I wanted to change the world. I didn't want to get rich. I don't need my name in the paper saying I'm the richest man in the world to be happy. I'm happy just like I am now, laying in my bed, uh, after eating a nice dinner that I cooked for myself, and it was steak and asparagus, nothing fancy, but it was a good steak and it was fresh asparagus. And, you know, uh, I'm a pretty good cook when I put myself uh, out there to do it, but, you know, I don't like McDonald's. I can't remember the last time I had it. Uh, I don't like those kind of things. I eat at home. I cook at home. Uh, I have a DoorDash app. I have a Grubhub app, and I've never used them. And they keep sending me deals, and I don't use them. So it's not about me. It's about everything else.